One Piece! Ikuzo!
The Minkmen Carrot vs Catrina Devon, the Crescent Moon Warriors. Hi everyone, Flying Panda. Catrina Devon of the Blackbeard Pirates was an infamous pirate in the golden age of piracy. Her name was effectively erased from history as she was the most dangerous female to ever be sentenced in Impel Down. While she has quite a resume with such little information, given her nickname, Crescent Moon Hunter, sparked our interest. Now this recently relates to Carrot the Minkman. Due to her Sulong transformation, who also relies on the full moon, is this a coincidence? We see the Kozuki clan translated as the light of the moon, and now we're seeing minks who transform during a full moon. Of course, we know about Devon, who is a Crescent Moon Hunter. This screams Carrot vs Devon. Now let's discuss more about Carrot's potential powers and why she will face off to Devon and not Nami. After seeing the Sulong for the first time, so my old theory came true, yay, but is it really a were-mink? When I discussed this with Legend in anime, he believes it more to be genetics than a curse. As you know, werewolves is a cursed power, and the Sulong is not a cursed power. As a mink, Carrot is a natural born fighter and can use Electro. As a ruler's age, she possesses a large amount of stamina, which allows her to be active at all hours of the day. Upon noticing that Monkey D. Luffy was eating her carrots, an enraged Carrot quickly overwhelms him before being calmed down. This prompts Pedro, an extremely strong mink warrior and captain of the Guardians, to vouch for her usefulness in a fight. So she's already respected among the minks. Carrot is immensely quick and agile, having effortlessly dodged a slash from ZORO. Is also capable of flipping backwards multiple times and attacking immediately afterwards. Carrot can levitate and jump in mid as well as jump extremely high. She is highly perceptive and has incredible reflexes, being able to notice Randolph's extreme quick ambush before Nami and Chopper did, and managing to pull them out of harm's way a split second before Randolph attacked them. Her immense speed is further shown when she instantly caught Diesel, who is an extremely fast runner despite him having a running start. Already, she is a formidable member of the Minks, and at this stage I was at the Carrot for Nakama stage, but it's the next part that let me think otherwise. As a member of the Mink tribe, Carrot is able to activate a true form when the full moon comes out, which others around her refer to as Sulong. In this form, Carrot's speed, agility and fighting prowess are magnified, allowing her to take out multiple members of the Big Mom Pirates in the blink of an eye, and her strength also increased as she was able to rip out the helm of Charlotte the Fuku ship. Her gliding abilities have also improved as she was able to glide from the crow's nest of the Thousand Sunnies to the Fuku ship a great distance away. This ability made her really powerful, but if she was to fight the monster trio, she would give them a tough battle. Now, let's talk about Devon now, and this was written by ZORO the Demon. The Syrup Island arc was famous for a few foreshadows. A lot of theorists connects a panel of Usopp's pirate crew talking about witches eating people. So this may assume there is a foreshadow of Big Mom. But Big Mom does seem to eat candy and food homies, but they aren't real humans. However, there seems to be a now witch themed character in Catrina Devon. Catrina Devon can be connected to Baba Yaga, who is an evil mean looking woman with a deformed face and a long nose. Witches in many fairy tales are known to eat children. Ironically enough, it is the children in this arc that mention witches eating people. The connections do not end there. Many times during the Syrup arc, a crescent moon can be seen in the background. Around 14 times we have counted. There was even a chapter titled The Crescent Moon. Not only that, but there are two characters that seem to be themed or influenced around the Crescent Moon. These two characters are Captain Kuro and Catrina Devon. Let's recap for a second. I mentioned two connections that lead to the witch's theme, and more specifically, Baba Yaga, who is Catrina Devon. We have the connections of witches eating people and children, and the Crescent Moon. Now you might be thinking, what does that Captain Kuro have to do with Catrina Devon? Well, Kuro translates to black. Kuro has claws like a cat and has agile, quick movements like a cat. What am I getting to here? Well, Kuro is themed around a cat, he's the captain of the Black Cat Pirates, and you might have guessed it already. Black cats are related to witches. Cats and witches are companions, even make witches' power more effective, so maybe we'll see a return of him in the future arcs. Devon was a prominent pirate in the Golden Age of piracy. I believe her powers are much like that of a witch from legend. I believe some of Devon's powers can be shape-shifting and even change appearance to fool enemies. Her fighting style probably revolves around deception. She can likely read the true fears and weaknesses and use them against her opponents. Now here's an early drawing that Oda drew of Devon. Ultimately, he decided to go with the more witch-like appearance, however, she may be able to transform into these forms. For example, if she was fighting Sanji. She reads his desires and weaknesses and transforms into an attractive woman to torture his desires and take advantage of his morals to win his fight. It's quite similar to Bon Clay. Another example would be casting a spell on her opponent so that he or she has hallucinations similar to their worst nightmares or their best dreams. While her opponent is suffering or in awe, she can easily strike a lethal blow. Under the Crescent Moon, she is most likely at her best. Her magic will be twice as effective and she can unleash her true form. With a Crescent Moon in the night sky, Devon can disappear into the night and strike her enemies accordingly. Similar to Captain Kuro's stealth foot style of combat, except Devon can control who she's attacking. Like Brulee's Mirror World, Devon may have a spell where she can force you into fight in her world. In this world, she can mess with your fears, weaknesses, morals like I mentioned before, but more importantly, she can probably change the setting to her liking. Her defeating her enemy in this dream world would cause them to collapse mentally in the real world. It's weird to be announcing the source of her power deep into this video, but as far as having a Dale Fruit, we're going with her already having Mythical Zone human model, Hitonomi model witch. So that's talking about Devon's potential power. Now, the reason why I think Carrot and Devon will face off is because they seem to be two powerful women from both respective crews, and if Nami does not become a fighter type rather than a supporting type character, I can't see them fighting each other. Nami can still be portrayed as a witch, or a white witch, but we'll talk about that in another video. The history could be that Devon hunted rare animals including the minks and other species. But don't forget, minks in real life are hunted for their fur. But does this mean Carrot will be a Nakama of the Straw Hats? Well, the reason I think she won't be a Nakama anymore is the fact she has this Super Saiyan ability, the Sulong. The story is about One Piece, a journey and growing and developing together. What more does she need to do? She already has been to sea and she's already super strong. The only way she adds to the crew is that she's a female. Also, Luffy already mentioned that Mokomo Dukem is like a country of choppers, implying to us that we have our own ink. But by seeing the minks, we can see the potential of Chopper's growth to becoming similar to the Sulong with help from the Rumble Ball instead of the moon. And to improve Carrot and the minks rather than using the moon to transform, they could use the Rumble Ball. Some minks will not be able to control the power and start rampaging about, but that is for now a theory. Like Vivi, I believe Carrot will temporarily accompany Luffy in his final war of the series. Now this is part 2 with Legendary Anime. Carrot vs Catrina Devon, the strongest females in One Piece by Legendary Anime. Hi everyone, Flying Panda. Since Carrot first appeared back in chapter 804, I've wondered and hoped that she might someday join the Straw Hat crew. To me, She has all the qualities to become a member with a personality, strength and fighting style. All she's missing is a dream. As each Straw Hat member has one, so it only makes sense for her to have one too, if she were to join. We have some ideas for what that dream might be, but first, let's take a look at the inspiration behind Carrot for some clues and past events she's endured so far. The minks themselves are inspired by legends from ancient Greek Aesop. For those who may not know who Aesop is, he's regarded as the man who wrote the first fables, stories of animals who had speech and personalities, so to speak. Should stories include the hare and the tortoise, the lion, the mouse, the wolf in sheep's clothing, the goose with the golden eggs, and many more. These, however, are more known for the series. I'm sure many people remember those childhood stories. It seems that those stories were the inspiration behind the Mink tribe and ZORO, as well as more as the new world has started to unfold. I mentioned in previous videos that since entering the new world, the world of fables and folklore has been the inspiration behind most of what we've seen. This also includes characters like Big Mom, the Big Mom Pirates, various characters in Dressrosa arc, Elbaf, which is fable spelled backwards, and Usopp. I'd like to note that Legendary Anime did a full video on this around 2 years ago, and with all the connections and how it would impact the story, as well as a certain city that might hold a hidden clue. Sadly, YouTube took it down, so we'll be releasing that video again in this channel. Anyways, back to Carrot. We believe Oda has not only used the inspiration of Aesop fables for her, but rather something even bigger and something that could have a greater impact within the current Wano arc. Carrot is modeled after the Moon Rabbit. Again, for those who might not be aware of this legend, the Moon Rabbit in folklore is a rabbit that lives on the moon based on pareidolia that identifies the markings of the moon as a rabbit. The folklore originated in China and then spread to other Asian cultures. In East Asian folklore, it is seen pounding with a mortar and pestle, but the contents of the mortar differs among Chinese, Japanese and Korean folklore. In Chinese folklore, it is often portrayed as a companion of the moon goddess Chang'e, constantly pounding the elixir of life for her, but in Japanese and Korean version, it is pounding the ingredients for a rice cake. In some Chinese versions, the rabbit pounds medicine for the mortars. Our Carrot's connection to the Moon Rabbit are as such. Most notably, she is a white rabbit, which how the Moon Rabbit herself is described. Carrot felt trapped on ZORO, always wondering what the outside world looked like, just as the Moon Rabbit resides on the moon. Carrot, like all minks, has a connection to the moon, seemingly a curse of sorts, and she was the first mink we saw transform at the sight of a full moon. There was a reason for this, most likely in relation to the Moon Rabbit connections and Carrot becoming almost godlike in a Sulong form. I might add that Sulong means moon lion. Within the story Journey to the West, Sun Wukong faced off against the Moon Rabbit. Could this be in relation to Carrot attacking Luffy over him eating her carrots? Another interesting connection is that Carrot named one of her attacks Electrical Lunar, meaning electrical moon, yet another moon-based connection. Probably the most interesting piece of information is that of the Moon Rabbit making an elixir of life, a potion said to grant the drinker immortality. Does this mean Carrot can make the elixir? I doubt it, but if it turns out that Carrot has a fondness for potion brewing or alchemy, then maybe it's one of her dreams to create it. On the other hand, it seems more reasonable for her dream to be to travel the world and see everything. As mentioned, until now she never left ZORO, and for all intended purposes, seemed to be trapped there, as leaving ZORO could be considered a crime. Beeple, for example. However, if it turns out that this is her dream, we're sure that the Dukes will grant her permission, seeing as they travelled with Roger, and Carrot could also make Pedro's dream come true. Pedro's dream was to help usher in the new dawn. He believed that Roger was that new dawn, but after meeting with Luffy, he saw that it is Luffy who might be the one. Carrot, having a strong sense of duty and respect for Pedro, will absolutely want to help the Straw Hats and see that her former master's wish comes true. As for Carrot's role in the crew, it seems she might be best suited for watch duty. She proved to have naturally heightened senses and self-awareness, which she is about to react to dangerous situations rather quickly. As a musketeer, she is proved to be able to handle herself in battle, and coupled with her Sulon form, she has the potential to become that much stronger in future battles. It is for these reasons that we believe that Carrot is the next Nakama to join the Strawhat crew. I will also add that she has a skill that can benefit the current crew members, for example, her drawing abilities. She's been shown to be a fairly good artist and that she has stated that she can draw maps. This could help Nami with her dream of creating a map of the world. Take this into consideration as well. If the crew was to ever go to the moon, as has been theorized before, who is better to accompany them than the Moon Rabbit? If you check out Legendary Anime's old videos, Minkmen revealed, it theorized that the Minks came from the moon originally. As Enel's Space Journey arc, the space pirates are Minks. If you haven't seen it, we may do a remake version here. On to the second part of the theory. Something that we're going to add onto this theory, based on chapter 925, is Catrina Devon's Devil Fruit power and how it impacts why Carrot should join the crew. So in the many reviews of chapter 925, we learned that Catrina Devon has the mythical zone type 9-tailed fox devil fruit. And wow, what a reveal! Now many people may be a little skeptical of why she has this devil fruit, and we believe that it's going to be down to the 9 tails being so relatable with Naruto, and the fact that Naruto is the hero of this story. So it's possible some people might not see what the 9 tail really is. In mythology and folklore, the 9-tailed fox is commonly a spirit or a demon. It's said to have the power of shape-shifting and would use that power to lure in people so that it could eat them. Depictions of the fox spirit can be seen as beautiful and majestic with white fur and a grace about it. We know that Catrina Devon, with the power of a devil fruit's ability to shapeshift, will make for it to be quite the troublesome power. We might be thinking, well, it's no different to Bon Clay's Maname no Mi cloned devil fruit, but there are some differences. Bon Clay could only clone the person he'd come in contact with by touching them with his right hand, and though his clone copies were spot on, he couldn't change his attire, his clothing. What we mean by this is that Devon not only can transform herself into anyone, but even her clothing changes with the transformation, as seen when she turns from Absalom to herself. But did you notice mid-transformation she turned into the fox first? This is the trait, the fox spirit. It's a perfect transformation down to the last detail, even memories. She feeds off her target's memories to create the perfect transformation which could fool even someone's mother into believing her to be her child. The perfect copy. The power likely has its limits and can copy the victim's physical abilities and possibly their powers, but to a weaker level. The power is more to fool a prey into a false sense of security in order to kill them while their guard is down. On top of her devil fruit powers, Catrina Devon is most definitely a skilled fighter and is well trained in the martial arts. How do we know this? Well, first off is her choice of weapon. Pre-time skip, she's seen using a spear at Marineford, unlike most of the crew who used guns when killing Whitebeard, so that choice of weapon was interesting. In many martial arts dojos, you find a variety of weapons, but for practice, you use a staff as its most non-lethal, and depending on the type of wood it's made from can be quite soft. Seeing as this was her choice of weapon led me to suspect that she has some Eastern connections when relating to her character, which leads us to believe she will prove to be trained in martial arts. Seeing as she's possessed the 9-tailed devil fruit and has features of a Tengu. Oh yes, she may have some relation to certain characters we met. But for now, we'll focus on the 9 tails. In some myths, the fox spirit is said to be at the side of the goddess Shi Wang Mu, Queen Mother, in Mount Kunlun. If you heard of Marvel Comics hero, the immortal Iron Fist, then you have heard of Kunlun and what it means. Those who aren't aware, the Kunlun or Kunlun Shan is a mountain or mountain range in Chinese mythology. An important symbol represents the axis mundi and divinity. The mythological Kulin is based partially on the Kalish temples and partially on the Kulin mountains of the Tibetan plateau. Different locations of the Kulin have been given in the various legends, myths and semi-historical accounts in which it appears. These accounts typically describe Kulin as a dwelling place of various gods and goddesses where fabled plants and mythical creatures may also be found. Many important events in Chinese mythology took place on the Kunlun. Besides from Wano, there could be very well be other countries with the Eastern style ways of living. Possible place would be where Kamadori and Roblucci learned life return, which is a form of mountain hermit arts. It is possible that there is a country that is inspired of Kunlun and is where those either from or outside can learn techniques like martial arts or life return. Again, we believe that Catrina Devon has the skills of a martial artist, which also adds to why she's one of the most dangerous women within the One Piece world and sets her up to be who Carrot will face off against, should she join the crew. Not to compare One Piece to Naruto, but I'm sure all can see how this works. Nine-tailed fox versus the moon rabbit, lightning user. Sounds familiar, right? But that isn't the intention here. Though there are some similarities, this can't be denied, but it's common for the series to have some themes that can be compared to others. But if Catrina Devon is shown to be a skilled hand-to-hand fighter, then Carrot is the best matchup, as she herself is a combat-style fighter. Another thing that suggests that Catrina is a skilled martial artist is the way she performs her jump in chapter 925. It's a small detail, but if you see how she moves, you can see it's just as graceful as when Carrot jumps. It's an age-old tale. The hunter, the crescent moon hunter fox versus the prey, Sulong moon lion rabbit, is a battle to determine who will be at the top of the food chain. Anyways, what do you think of this theory? Please leave your comments down below. Please click like, and if you haven't, please subscribe to Flying Panda and join our Discord.
ルフィ、私はあなたの決定に従うけど。